Welcome back to STL Live. I'm Sarah Bernard, and we're here with Michael Kahn and Gary Kodner, two authors appearing at the St. Louis Jewish Book Festival this week. You're going to be talking about your books, both of which have St. Louis ties. So we've got the St. Louis Cardinals, History of the Logos and Uniforms by Gary, and with a big boost by son Oliver. And The Dead Hand, Michael, your 10th book, is that right, in the series?
10th in the series.
10th in the series, and it has it's set here in St. Louis. So we've
They're
got
all set in St. Louis.
A lot of St. Louis right here on this table. So, all right. So this week you're each going to be talking about your books at the festival. Gary, want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I think what I would like to do in my talk is I can't take them through 135 years of baseball uniform history. So what I'm going to try to do is look at some of the earliest years, because those are the things people are not familiar about, and take them through the story of how the name Cardinals came about, how the birds on the bat came about, because it's a very different story than people would imagine.
Can you give us a little hint?
Well, as an example, the Cardinals franchise, I trace back to 1892. They didn't begin being called the Cardinals till after 1900, and the birds didn't appear till 1922.
Interesting. So you'll be talking more about that.
Yeah, because there's backstories behind both of those.
And you know everything. I mean, did you learn a ton doing the research?
I did. 2.5 years. That's why it took 2.5 years, because so much of it is just learning and reading and looking at old newspaper stories. Fortunately, all the newspapers now are online too, and you can read. And in fact, a lot of the text of the book is quotes directly from the papers talking about the new logos as they appeared and as they came out.
So were there any big surprises that...
Yeah, there were a few big surprises. For example, 1956, they took the birds and the bat off the uniform.
For 1 year?
For 1 year.
And what happened?
There was a huge outcry. I mean, people were very upset.
Why did they do that? Do you know?
Not sure. I think that Frank Lane, who was the general manager at the time, thought he was being contemporary, thought he was moving in a new direction.
Right.
There was rumors that he tried to sell Stan Musial too, which also would have been a big mistake.
Sell him.
So, yeah. And also we found out that the Cardinals wore striped uniforms in the earlier years. And we even found a uniform that had green pinstripes. Can you imagine the St. Louis Cardinals with green pinstripes? We found it.
Interesting. So it's all here in the book, which, we were talking about would make an awesome gift because it truly is the history. I mean, it's a great pictorial.
And a lot of people look at their history, their own fan history with the Cardinals, and they remember some of those uniforms. They remember their era. You know, some people even remember the era when the Cardinals wore those strange uniforms without buttons and without belts, you know, those stretch uniforms that they used to wear in the 70s and 80s.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. It's all in there.
We were talking about it. That's why I got married during that same era, and when I look at my wedding pictures,
it looks like that.
Yeah, it's
The
like,
stretch.
oh my gosh.
The 70s and 80s.
I am dressed as poorly as the Cardinals were back then,
Right.
although I wasn't wearing pajamas. Which
Or
is
those
what,
blue uniforms they wore.
oh my God.
Well, there were a lot of other people dressed the same, so
Right.
you weren't alone.
That's for sure.
That's funny, though, that fashion history right here in the Cardinals.
Yes.
So, Michael, let's talk. So you're going to be talking this week about your book. Are you going to be reading from the book, talking about...
It'd be probably a little bit of both. I'm actually in a session, it's on Monday, with 2 other Missouri authors. So there'll be 3 of us talking about the books in Missouri, and I'll be talking about a lot of the St. Louis connections and the kind of research, which is sort of like your research. I mean, I remember I set one of my novels, The Big Scene, was in the underground section of the River de Pere, where it goes underneath Forest Park.
Oh, how cool.
And I got the Metropolitan Sewer District folks took me down there. And I got to walk along there. So, it's like I always try to pick some St. Louis landmark and try to set some scenes there.
So you started writing this series with Rachel as your lead character 22 years ago. Has Rachel aged? Has
Yes.
she and St. Louis landmarks have changed?
Yes. I mean, she has aged a little. My agent doesn't want her to age too much.
Yeah.
She, God forbid she should get to be over 40. But she has aged, She was married. She's now widowed. She's probably in her late 30s. She's got a little boy, and she's got her 2 stepdaughters. So, and she's got a crazy mother. So, a lot of people will be able to relate.
When's the movie come out?
I know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, is that a possibility?
You get approached.
Yeah.
But the way Hollywood works, you never know.
Right.
I remember with Forrest Gump, that was a book that was under option for almost 15 years before it finally got made in a movie. So you never know. Could, maybe.
Yeah. Well, more power to you, both of you, writing books and having additional full-time careers, and right here in St. Louis, and good books. I mean, good stuff.
Both
So,
about St. Louis, yeah.
both about St. Louis, yeah. So thank you so much for joining us, and we can see you at the St. Louis Jewish Book Festival. And so we hope to see you there. And there's more STL Live after this. Stay with us.